Hello and welcome to Fusion Writing, where building character meets creating structure. This is the map day, Tuesday of our writing week, and this is where you get your pens handy over the top of the paper because you're going to get your assignment. Victoria?
Okay, guys, so in the last few weeks, we've talked about different ways of capturing material so that you can use it in your drafts, whether you're zero drafting or you're in an advanced draft, it doesn't matter. The material that you're capturing all works the same. So the first thing that I had you take a look at was dialogue. Whether it's two characters speaking with each other in dialogue, it's an internal monologue where a character is mulling something over, or maybe you're running fast and furious thoughts through their head so that the reader can see that they're anxious or they're worrying. You can do all of that simply by using your words. So let's talk about a couple of exercises to start getting that into some form that you can work with. The first one that I want to give you is just what we said. It's a dialogue. I want you to take two characters. I want you to put character A down the left side of the paper, B down the right side. So take your paper, divide it down the middle. On the left side, let's call them Sally and Joe, because, who doesn't love Sally and Joe? I'm going to put Sally on my left side with Sally's name at the top, and I'm going to put Joe on the right side with Joe's name at the top. I'm going to start Sally with some kind of bit of conversation. Now, an easy way to do this, if you're stuck, is have her ask a question, right? It's not open-ended. It can't go absolutely everywhere. It's a question about a specific thing. So let's have Sally ask Joe, where would you like to eat tonight? Right? Simple and straightforward. Not very fancy, not complicated, just a straightforward question. That's a form of dialogue. Now, if I were pulling that off of a card, I may go to my conversations dialogue section, and let's say I pull out a card of something that I've overheard in a cafe. Let's say I heard someone order a bagel with cream cheese. So maybe something about that was interesting to me. It may be the topping they asked for. It may be the way they asked the question. Whatever reason I captured that bit of dialogue, I'm going to plug that in as Joe's answer. Well, I'd like an everything bagel with cream cheese. You know that place that has the cool sprinkles? I've just told you something about Joe in the way that he answered, right? He's a foodie. He pays attention to food things. See how simple that is? Just by having one character ask another character a simple question, and then using your dialogue skills, using those bits that you've collected, plug in answers that reveal something about that character. So he's given his answer. Now we know something about what he likes and how he likes it, what he observes. We know this. So now Sally is going to answer back to him. And maybe she's going to say something like, I don't know why you like all that stuff. It's just so heavy. Now we know something about Sally. We know there's a little friction in that relationship. We know that she doesn't care how he likes his food. She just wants to criticize him. So see how you're already revealing stuff about these two people just by asking a simple question of where do you want to eat? That's your exercise. Start with a simple question and then just go back and forth on the page between them. Sometimes when I do this, I even draw a line. Line down the center, start with character A, and then draw a line over to character B, and I write what they say, and then I draw a line back to A. I really map out and visualize that conversation because it just helps me get that pen moving across the page. And it also helps with blank page syndrome because you're literally tracing out what they're saying between them as you scratch out that dialogue. So that's exercise number one. One sheet of paper, divide it in half, and just start tossing that ball back and forth between those people and see how much you can reveal in what they say to each other. Now, your second exercise plays off of using your research. So let's say you've done some of your research cards and you've chosen a bit of text from a book that you really love. So you're leaning on another author's work. This is a great way to get yourself started, especially if you've got blank page syndrome. So start with whatever that quote is, just maybe a little snippet of something a character says, or it can even be an observation or just a bit of text that you found interesting, intriguing, whatever. Write that at the top of your page. And then I want you to listen in your mind to your character's voice, and I want your character to say something about that quote you've chosen, right? So in this way, you're dialing in your character's voice by having them speak to something that you chose for them. So let's say one of my favorite quotes that I often use in my day job is "No good deed goes unpunished." I think it's hilarious. So I'm going to write that across the top of the page. In my novel, my main character, Marshall Branch, my male character, is from Oklahoma. He is through and through a traditional cowboy guy. So if he were going to respond to that, he would probably say something in his kind of sexy drawling voice like he does. And he would probably make some sarcastic or snide comment about that, because that's just who he is. I can literally hear him in my head. That's what I want you to practice with. Now, conversely, if I was writing from my main female character, she is through and through an academic, very formalized, formal diction. She wouldn't respond with something sarcastic or even snarky. She would probably make a very astute comment about it, something very serious. So in that way, I can hear her in my head. That's your second assignment. Choose that quote carefully, or even choose at random. That can be fun too. And then have your character speak back to that quote, or maybe answer it as if they're talking to another character. I just want you to get into the groove of what are they thinking? How are they responding? And then start asking yourself, why are they responding that way? What is their response telling me about them? This is a way to get out of your editor's mind and just start looking at where's that character voice coming from and how is it developing. I would encourage you to do this more than once. Pick 3 quotes, write them across the top of the page, and just have your character talk to you about what that quote says and see if you can find their voice in there. I guarantee if you do this exercise a couple, 3 times, you will find their voice and you'll hear it in your head, and it will make you that much better at writing that character. So those are my assignments. You've got a bonus week, which Kathleen will allude to when she gets over to setting us up to go over to Fusion Writing. So I've given you 2 assignments. Don't dally. Get those words on the page. Kathleen?
Okay. Oh, thank you, Victoria. They look like wonderful assignments. Well, we're talking about orderliness this month, and we have talked about it from the struggle, from the pinnacle to the wing, to the anchor to the base. We've covered it in all of the positions on the character profile diagram. Well, in your writing challenge today, you're going to get to do a movement in the character arc. It can go either way, and it can go 1 notch or 2. Usually in a short story or just a snippet, it'll just go 1 notch. But think about where you want to start from. If you have been following along over in LiLLiPub, you've had writing assignments all along in the character profile. That's giving you some characters you could start with. You could pick one of those. If you picked one of those, they already have their starting point. Maybe you picked someone with it in the wing position where they were just disorganized. Where will you move them? Will you help them get it into the anchor position where they can deal with it? Or maybe you're just starting from scratch, or maybe you just want to start from scratch. Maybe you have a character who's pretty normal with their orderliness. Maybe it's even fairly anchor, and something comes along and totally disrupts their life, and it pops up into the rudder. That's another direction that a character trait movement could go. Now, last week we talked about a baseline, a backstory. What did your character have happening in their history that made them have this position on the character profile diagram that you picked for orderliness? There's one just baked right in for you. You can take that character and move them forward a notch to stability, or you can move them upward a notch to chaos. You get to choose, but practice writing something that shows how and why something changes for them. In doing that, you will be both showing where they were, demonstrating to your reader where they were, showing the trigger, what caused the change, and then demonstrating what the results were in their life. It's wonderful practice for really internalizing those character traits. Like Deb always says, she wants to have them like a second skin. And this is your chance to have them like a second skin as well. Victoria, do you have anything to add?
Oh, that is fantastic. I love writing week. So guys, you've got some fantastic exercises. Don't dally. Take a few minutes, set a timer for 20 minutes, and just do a sprint. That's all it takes. Get the stuff down on the page, and maybe even include something about orderliness in your dialogue conversations. Kathleen and I so often dovetail in our exercises and our lessons. Feel free to mix those things together and see what you come up with. I think you'll surprise yourself at how well this works when you just start drafting it out. So do your homework. You've got 2 weeks this time because next week is week 5 of our month. So I will be spending Monday writing. So for those of you that have time on the Monday, we can write together in spirit because I'll be writing the whole day. So let's get after it. Kathleen's going to tell you where to share.
All right. Come on over to LiLLiPub. That's where you can post your writing when you're done. On Saturdays, we meet for our Fusion Writing Zoom call, and we go over each other's writing submissions. We have a wonderful time together. We help each other become the best writers we can possibly be. Victoria leads us. She's really terrific in that regard. And you will love being a part of LiLLiPub.org. And because we have 2 weeks until our next lesson, with this being a 5 Monday month, you've got 2 chances to send your writing over to LiLLiPub.org and 2 chances to talk about it in the Fusion Writing Group on Saturday. Plus, as a bonus, if you're in LiLLiPub.org, don't forget to stop by the character traits and review what other people have posted for their exercises. And you can post your new one as your exercise as well for this week. And next week, you'll get a sneak peek at the character trait for the month of July. So you'll get a chance to see it before all of the people who join us here on Fusion Writing get to see it 2 weeks from now on Monday. So we'll see you then, hopefully over on LiLLiPub, and if not, right here in 2 weeks in Fusion Writing. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.